You travel from Johto to Kanto. You make your way to Cerulean Cave. You've beaten the Elite Four and the Pokemon League champion, and you aim to enter the fabled Cerulean Cave to travel to its deepest depths where resides the most dangerous Pokemon of all time, Mewtwo. Born of humanity's pride, it is fitting that you think you are not only fit to encounter it, but to take it on, live to tell the tale, and even capture it yourself? Sorry, Hotshot, you're not getting in. However, as you disappointingly traverse the water back to the city, you notice something floating around, an item. It's nothing like the full restores and revives you're accustomed to. You've never heard of anything like this, but it looks like you're in luck. It's no Mewtwo, but it is a piece of its DNA. Not a natural one either. This piece of life was developed specifically for the creation of Mewtwo, in all of its unassailable, uncontrollable fury. It is the Berserk Gene. You decide, in all of your arrogance, to take this power of Mewtwo and to have one of your other Pokemon hold it in battle. Indeed, as soon as this Pokemon is sent out, its strength does increase to the tune of a +2 attack boost. An instantaneous Swords Dance? What an item! You rejoice, considering yourself even more unstoppable than before, until you notice the side effect. You, like the researchers who built this monument of destruction, did not account for the possibility that it cannot be controlled. Your Pokemon with the +2 attack boost cannot comprehend the power with which it has been imbued. It is confused. You did not give your Pokemon an automatic Swords Dance. You gave it swagger. There is a 50% chance that you will be able to control this power, and that you will be able to use it to destroy your opponent. There is an equal chance that this power will backfire and be your downfall. You will be hoisted by your own petard, blown up by your own bomb, all because you attempted to harness the power of Mewtwo. Do you dare? Well, if you do, you'll be alone, because no serious competitive Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal player dares. The Berserk Gene, incredibly cool though it may be, especially with its exclusivity to Generation 2 enhancing its mythic status, is not an item anyone wants to rely on. Yes, the instant +2 attack boost is incredibly appealing in such a bulk-focused generation where Swords Dance distribution is incredibly limited. The likes of Heracross and Rhydon, which would absolutely love the move and would learn it just one generation later, do not yet have access to it. Plus, even the terrifying Machamp could always use more power so it can really blast through Skarmory and Zapdos. However, though it is tempting, it is just about never worth it. First off, forget any idea about snapping out of confusion. Berserk Gene keeps you confused for 256 turns. Have fun stalling that out. Second, if you really want to blast through the opponent with physical damage, always a good idea in the Snorlax metagame, then there are far more reliable ways of doing so. That's the biggest reason why Berserk Gene just isn't worth it. There are some risks worth taking to gain an advantage, of course, but Berserk Gene is an unnecessary risk because of how much needs to go your way. You're going to be fighting confusion with every attack you make, and if one of them goes wrong, you can kiss your chances goodbye. If you're lucky, maybe it'll take 2 confusions to interrupt the sweep. +2 attack just isn't that much of a boost either. It's not like it translates to automatic KOs. Plus, even if you are trying to set up everything to maximize your Berserk Gene user's odds, for example, paralyzing everything on the opponent's team, so your Berserk Gene user is faster and there's a chance of your opponent fully paralyzing even if you are confused, then you're still just rolling the dice. And you need to be lucky in the sense that your Berserk Gene user doesn't get dragged in by one of GSC's present phasing moves, like a Roar from Steelix, before it's ready to go. The item only activates once, and getting the timing right is incredibly difficult both in terms of precise play and dependence on RNG. With GSC's emphasis on longevity, even on offensive teams, any Pokemon without leftovers, or at least one that can't even thief an opposing Pokemon's leftovers, is on an unpleasantly fast ticking timer. See Marowak. Except Marowak is actually excellent. Finally, let's not forget that when you hit yourself in confusion with Berserk Gene, you're smacking yourself really hard thanks to that +2 attack stat. Berserk Gene's use in competitive GSC is so non-existent that no high-level tournament replays of the item appearing came to mind of even the walking old-gen database, BKC, who thus had to create these replays himself in order to provide a visual example of the item's unreliability. You should all subscribe to BKC's YouTube, by the way. Anyway, Berserk Gene is the epitome of unreliability, but that was back then. What if we brought the Berserk Gene back? Before we actually further explore that topic, I just want to say that if you are enjoying this video, please make sure you leave a like. And also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to me. I'm on my way to 300K. I upload these discussion videos 3 to 4 times a month, and I upload competitive Pokemon every single day. My goal is 300,000 subscribers, and I'm about 2,000 subs away. So if you sub, I can make it. But what if we brought the Berserk Gene back? He said again. Would it find any use? It almost certainly would. As just one generation after Berserk Gene's introduction, abilities were introduced. Abilities that were able to circumvent all sorts of problems. from making burnt physical attackers stronger rather than weaker, to turning poison into a healing mechanism rather than one that loses health. You get the picture. Specifically, the Own Temple ability is what we're looking at here. Historically, its use has been to thwart opposing confusion. For example, Slowbro's niche in DPP OU, or Diamond Pearl Platinum OU, is that it switches into Machamp without fearing confusion from Dynamic Punch. However, Own Temple on a Pokemon with Berserk Gene would mean it would receive the automatic Swords Dance without the drawback of being confused. Now, not every Pokemon with Own Temple is going to be a physical attacker, of course. See Slowbro. Additionally, the one-time nature of the item would make its usage difficult and precise. Nevertheless, it would find some sort of niche. So what physical attacking Own Temple Pokemon can we place Berserk Gene on? It's a limited list, but such Pokemon do exist. The first Pokemon that comes to mind is Purugly. Despite its outstanding speed, it has famously struggled in the lower tiers thanks to its low power level even by their standards. However, with Berserk Gene, this is no more. It even gets free damage in the form of +2 Stab Fake Out. Let's take things to the max and give Purugly only one other move, Last Resort, which possesses stunning 140 base power but can only be used after a Pokemon's used all its other moves, which in this case is the free first turn provided by Fake Out, considering you are flinching your opponent. Stab Last Resort with +2 attack is going to drop just about anything it hits. Combined with Purugly's fantastic speed, Berserk Gene would make it a ferocious lower tier late game cleaner. And then we have Mudsdale, the ground type Pokemon with 125 base attack, but no Swords Dance or Curse to push that even further. Typically, Mudsdale is seen as a physical wall, using things like Stealth Rock, Earthquake, and its ability Stamina to raise its defense every single time it's hit, but with Own Temple and the +2 attack, those 125 base power Earthquakes, Rock Slides, and close combats, not to mention Heavy Slam for those fairy types, would absolutely hurt, especially in the lower tiers. Not to mention that Own Temple did get buffed and it's immune to Intimidate, so Mudsdale would be keeping that +2 attack. The other Own Temple physical attacker that can make effective use of Berserk Gene is Licky. Now, it needs paralysis support to offset its low speed, but this is no different from the support Swords Dance Licky needs in general. What's great about Berserk Gene on Licky is that it has flexibility depending on the matchup. In games against faster paced, more aggressively offensive teams where it would struggle to find a turn to safely Swords Dance, the immediate boost makes it threatening right off the bat. Against bulkier stall teams that can't immediately hurt it nearly as much, Licky can Swords Dance and have a whopping +4 attack after one turn, making it downright unwallable. Berserk Gene Swords Dance Licky would become one of the biggest threats to lower tier stall. Good luck trying to wall it with Unaware Quagsire when I still have 4 times effective Power Whip. There is one other ability that could take advantage of Berserk Gene. Not in the sense that it would ignore the confusion like Own Temple does, but in the sense that it would take advantage of the confusion. The Tangle Feet ability doubles the evasion of any Pokemon so long as it is confused. If you think Sandvale's 20% was bad, well, this would be downright ridiculous. You'd try and hit back at a Berserk Gene Pokemon with the ability and wind up missing because even 100% accurate moves would be turned into Dynamic Punch. The risk, of course, is that even if your opponent misses, you might wind up smacking yourself with your own boosted attack stat. But since Berserk Gene activating once requires a certain leap of faith, perhaps you want to go all the way and truly live life on the edge. Who are your candidates for physical attackers with Tangle Feet? Well, pretty much just Dodrio. Between Stealth Rock, boosted Brave Bird recoil, and really strong self-hits from confusion, it won't be living very long, but it also will kick the opponent's lights out and dodge their attacks before it goes down. Yeah, it gets Swords Dance, but finding a turn to safely SD on a Pokemon with Dodrio's frailty is unreliable. This makes it an immediate KO machine that's both stronger than Choice Band and has flexibility in moveset, despite of course the insane risks that come with it. Also yes, Dodrio is National Dex, but if we're adding Berserk Gene to Gen 8, we can add Dodrio too. Finally, of course anyone would be welcome to be insane enough to try Berserk Gene on the already dangerous physical attackers like Urshifu Rapid Strike, but given the insane power level that exists now, the Gambit seems even less worthwhile than it was in GSC. In conclusion, Berserk Gene is really one of a kind. It'd be interesting to see more items like it. Perhaps a special attacking version might be more viable, since the confusion self-hits would be of low impact. Plus, Mewtwo is a special attacker. If you have any ideas for Berserk Gene items or a modification to Berserk Gene itself, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.